Merging in Blender is a hassle. First you Ctrl J and join two meshes together, but that basically does nothing. Because when you subdivide, for example, you see they don't have anything to do with each other. They're still separate. So in order to actually merge things together, we need to join them somehow. With just a simple search, you'll see there are a lot of ways to fully merge objects. The first method, and the most ideal one, is manually joining the topology of both objects together. The second method is using smooth vertices to blend the intersections. The third method is converting the geometry into a mesh volume using geometry nodes. And the fourth method, which is the easiest and the most practical one, is using tools that are built specifically for this purpose. They're non-destructive, flexible, and by far the easiest one to work with. So in this video we're gonna go over each method so you can decide which one fits your workflow best. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses. The timestamps are in the timeline. First method, and the most ideal one, is manually joining the topologies of both objects together. I'm gonna show it to you with just 2 cylinders because I'm lazy as shit. I mean, I value your time. So it's basically running a union boolean and then merging the vertices to join them together. Then bevel the edges, and for the smoothness, you can add a subdivide with creasing the edges. It's the ideal way to create game assets and when the topology matters the most. But usually you can't apply that method with a messy topology like this one, unless you're unemployed or high, and maybe even both. So in that case, this is the time you're gonna need Sculpt and Remesh tool. All you have to do is to sculpt the merge lines until they're barely visible. You can also remesh it afterwards for a more uniform mesh. But I'm not gonna do that because I value your time. Yeah, that's it. But let's be honest, most of the time you don't even give a shit. You just wanna make something nice inside Blender without needing to export it. And that brings us to the second method. It's based on union boolean again. Believe me, this one is the last one. So that's kinda something between the manual and sculpt. So you don't need the topology to be perfect like your life. All you need to do is to select the edges and bevel it. After that, select some more faces around the merged lines with Ctrl+ and use Ctrl+V for smooth vertices, or just search it with F3. But the downside is it bends the geometry and might not work perfectly in some cases, but I found that actually good enough for basic concepting. Yeah, I know you're already tired of Boolean and you want to punch me in the face. The third method is using the geometry nodes and the volume to mesh for joining two objects together without needing to worry about the topology, but getting used to it is harder than living in Pakistan. That's why I recommend you to check out the original video of this method. Also keep in mind that it makes your scene heavy because of the calculation and volumetric geometry. And finally, for the last one, we're gonna use an add-on called MergeMaster. It just came out a few weeks ago and it's amazing. It's fully non-destructive and it's basically the most practical one to use since you have the ability to f around however you want and getting some nice results immediately. First, go to the link in the description and download it. Installation is pretty straightforward. Just go to Edit, Preference, Add-ons, open the drop-down menu, click on Install from Disk, and select the MergeMaster zip file. After that, close the window and you're good to go. You can now press the End button for the end panel to show up. Here you can find the MergeMaster tab. Here I got a character and I want to merge this horn into the forehead. First I'll position it around the forehead, then mirror it to the other side so both sides stay consistent before we start the merging process. Now to use the add-on, first select the main object, then choose the target object in the add-on panel and click on Activate. Keep in mind that during the process, scale and rotation are automatically applied. Now, as you can see, both parts are merged, and you can adjust the parameters like radius and strength. Instead of juggling multiple modifiers, the add-on gives you a master control that drives strength, radius, and normal blending together. In most cases, a single slider is enough in giving you good results, but you still have full control over each parameter. You also have full control over how the fall-off behaves, with different profiles that define how the transition is spread across the surface. And with this custom curve, you can go even further, shaping the fall-off exactly to your needs for more procedural and controlled transition. One thing I really like is how it blends the materials automatically. Since this horn already has a different material than the character, the tool creates a smooth transition between them. You don't have to spend time painting or manually blend the scene. Instead, you can simply control each material shows by adjusting the blend intensity. In the Normals tab, you control how surface reacts to the light, basically whether two objects feel fully connected or still visibly separate. And if the mesh lacks enough detail, you can subdivide the merge area to increase resolution and get a cleaner, high-quality results. Boolean options define how two objects interact at a structural level, whether they cut, merge, or curve into each other. Instead of manually managing complex topology, the add-on handles this process in a controlled and predictable way. In the Advanced tab, you get more specialized controls depending on your workflow. Options like fall-off radius, surface gap, and normal transfer lets you fine-tune how the blend behaves between two meshes, giving you precise control over the transition and overall results. After you're done, make sure to recalculate to fix normals and phase directions. At the end, you can use Bake to Mesh to finalize the merge. It gives you two options: directly join the meshes and take a backup. So that's it for the organic workflow. As you can see, the topology stays intact and nothing gets broken in the process. But that also means this approach isn't ideal for game assets. Keep in mind, this is primarily built for concept art and rendering, not for producing game-ready topology. For hard surface workflows, the biggest advantage I've found is during the concepting stage. You can quickly merge different objects together to discover new shapes and designs, especially now with AI producing concepts at an incredible speed. This workflow helps you iterate faster and gives you an edge on that part. To test it out, I have our beloved Suzanne along with a random sci-fi asset I downloaded from Sketchfab. I'm gonna merge them together and create something similar to this I made a few years ago. Just like before, I select both models and activate the add-on. Then I tweak the sliders and fall off until I get a nice clean blend. My main focus is making the merge line as invisible as possible. Thankfully, the add-on gives you plenty of control to achieve that. The custom fall-off curves lets you fine-tune the blend, while the normal adjustments tools help resolve most shading issues. And with one level of subdivision, the merge line becomes much cleaner and smoother. One of the most challenging areas of this model is around the small openings. Even here, the shading remains surprisingly clean without needing much manual cleanup. And because the entire setup is procedural, you can continue tweaking the blend, the fall off at any point to get the exact results you're after. But before we move on to the baking and finalizing the model, let's quickly check the UVs. The UVs are completely untouched and haven't been altered at all. Both models have their original UVs and topologies fully intact. That's the core of it. You're not forcing asset to behave, you're setting up the condition and letting the tool do what it's good at, while you keep your attention on the actual design decision that matters. And because everything stays procedural, you're never really committed to anything until you choose to be. That kind of freedom changes how you approach modeling, especially in hard surface models or concepting. And before we close the video, there's one last thing worth pointing out. Like any tool, MergeMaster isn't perfect, and there are a few things you should know before using it. First, it's not really built for low poly workflows. When you push it with a low polygon count, you can start running into shading issues, and in some cases, the merge might not hold up properly. It works best when there's enough geometry to support the clean transition. It's also not intended for glass or other refractive materials, so keep that in mind if your project relies heavily on those shaders. If you're rendering in cycles, you might notice slight shading artifacts around the merge boundary, especially on metallic or glossy materials. The add-on includes the dedicated Bake for Cycles option that solves most of those cases by adding a bevel node to smooth out the transition between two objects. But the good news is, they're already aware of these limitations. Version 2 is planned to include a native cycle solution for the boundary shading issues. Considering this is only the version 1, it's already a surprisingly polished add-on, and it's clear the developer is actively working to make it even better. Also, you can check out my Gumroad to download real-time tutorials and the cool add-ons I've made that helps you speed up your workflow much more, like Haircut Studio and EyeForge. See you on the next one. Peace.